All right, well, I'm just going to start with my story. Maybe lots of you know it, some of you might not. I've been coaching for 3 years, and I found Beachbody 7 years ago when I was wanting to lose the baby weight with my first daughter. And my husband was out, we were in Miami, he was playing football, and so we had just moved out there with my 7-week-old girl, and we're living in a hotel while he was in training camp, and I needed to lose the baby weight. I was like ready to go, right? And so I found the infomercial actually for 10-minute trainer, and so I decided to get that, and I was like, I can do 10 minutes, even with this baby. And so I got that, and actually had really good results, and loved it. And so I'm like, okay, now I can up the ante a little bit. So then I got Insanity. I up the ante a lot. And my husband would do it with me, and we'd do it in our little, we ended up moving into a little apartment, and we had like this much space, and we did it in there, and had awesome results, and I felt amazing, and I was telling everyone about it, and they were all ordering it from Beachbody, and I knew nothing about the coaching opportunity for 4 years. And so I was doing Insanity off and on for about 4 years, and I never finished the freaking program, not once. I would start it, and I would do really good through month 1, then we'd get into month 2, and I was like, okay, I'm good, and then I would stop doing it. And so then, after I had my second baby, I wanted to lose the baby weight again, and at that point, we had since been done playing football. We had moved to Oklahoma, that my husband could go to vet school. And so we were living out there. He was in his second year of vet school, and I was a full-time wedding and senior portrait photographer. Loved it, but it was like, I was either in front of the computer editing, or shooting, or being mom, and it was just a lot. And so I never made time to work out or anything like that. I was probably eating a bunch of junk because it was quick. And I just felt really ready. And so I told my husband, I was like, I need to get back on track. And I didn't want to do Insanity again. And so I was looking on Instagram and found my coach who had posted about Less Fools Combat. And this was like, I think it was like 3 weeks before T25 was being launched. And that was actually what got me like looking into another program, because I was like, okay, T25, that looks awesome. I love Shanti, 25 minutes, that sounds like my jam. I'm gonna do that. But then, like, I'm the type of person who's like, I can't wait 3 weeks, I gotta get something now. So I looked on Instagram, found her, she had a picture of her abs, and I was like, okay, you're my girl. So I messaged her, got into her challenge group. Would have never spent $130 on Shakeology. I will tell you that right now. I didn't know about it, I had heard some good things, but we were like, I think our grocery budget was right around, were we trying to spend like $400 on groceries? I'm pretty sure it was $400. So I was like, $130 for Shakeology? Yeah, right. But I justified it by, it was a challenge pack, it was on sale that month, and I could do it for a month. So I did it, fell in love with Shakeology, like so many of us do, fell in love with the accountability. And I was like 4 or 5 days into the challenge, and I told my husband, I need to keep getting Shakeology. And he was like, no. And I was like, no. Like, it really is making a huge difference for me. I can tell, like, my cravings, and I have a ginormous sweet tooth, and it was helping. And so I'm like, this is the only thing that's ever helped. I need to keep drinking this stuff. And I need the accountability. I loved the challenge group. And so, like a great husband, he was like, okay, whatever, you're crazy. And I was like, I'm just gonna get the discount. Don't worry, not gonna do anything. But if I can help a few people and cover my Shakeology, will be good. And so he's like, okay, whatever. So I signed up with the T25 challenge pack. So I actually was like doing both programs when I started, because I was that crazy. And I was just stoked, like high of life. Like, felt amazing, was just sharing what I was doing, and wanted to talk to everyone, and wanted everyone to feel like I was feeling. And so I started my first challenge group right out of the gate. I got people going, and honestly, I have built my business like that stuff that you can't see. the superstar, whatever, all that other stuff. Like, it seems like crazy because I just built everything so simple. And so I'm going to talk a lot about that today because this business is not complicated and it's not hard. It's just you got to be consistent and you got to stick with the basics. And so today I'm going to be talking about building your business for longevity because so many of our shiny objects that we go for, Rain and Success Club and all those things which are solid and which you need to focus on those things because you need driving things that keep you moving forward, and those are the foundation of your business. But it's easy to get sidetracked and to get short-term vision and to get feeling defeated when you don't hit a goal or you don't hit one of your whatevers. And so I'm going to talk about the big picture a little bit today. These are the things that you can expect to learn. We're going to go over mindset and vision. We're going to go over how to set yourself apart in a pool of 400,000 other coaches that are doing the same stuff. We're going to be going over building relationships and non-negotiables and the unsexy secret sauce. So, moving right along to my very favorite thing to talk about, which is mindset and vision. Honestly, I feel so confident talking about coaching because of the things that it implements. So, I want you guys to compare it to your fitness journey for a second because lots of people, maybe your business really blows, but you rock at your fitness journey. And so I want you guys to compare this because they go hand in hand. So you can't expect to work out really hard for like 6 hours one day and then not work out for another 2 weeks. And then eat 3 healthy meals and then go splurge on whatever. And expect to get results. And that is the same thing in this business. You can't go all in for 2 days and then fall off the face of the earth for 2 weeks and then do that. Otherwise, you're going to get stuck in the rat race and you're never going to get ahead. And you're going to feel defeated and you're going to quit. So, I want you guys to have a big vision, a big picture, a long-term perspective, which is one of the things I wanted to talk about. So first of all, I want you to know that when you commit to the 4 vital behaviors, and when you make that your lifestyle, you build your lifestyle around the 4 vital behaviors, your life will be blessed. Whether you have success right off the bat in the business or not, your life will be better when you're doing these things. So don't think, oh gosh, I need to work today, I need to go read my book. Like, that is blessing your life. You're becoming a better person. You're growing. You're becoming more confident. You're becoming more compassionate. You're becoming a better wife, a better mom, a better dad. Those are things that, no matter if you're coaching or not, you should be doing. So the fact that we have to do it as a coach is like, good, because everybody in the world needs to be doing this stuff. So, obviously, we all know what the 4 vital behaviors are. Be a product of a product. Invite, and I want to talk about that one. Janelle did awesome, and I'm going to talk about this when we go over building relationships. But invite, or attract, connect. What's the attract, connect, invite? I don't know. They changed it to something, and it's a lot better because it really is. You need to focus on just being a kind person. Just build those relationships, and then you extend the invite, or whatever. We're going to go over this, I'm getting ahead of myself. But when you're doing the 4 vital behaviors, when you're growing as a person with personal development, and then when even recognition, even that one I'm like, well, that's kind of businessy. Like, when are you really going to recognize someone outside of the business? But, dude, everyone loves to be recognized. So whether you're just recognizing someone for maybe bringing a meal over to you, and you are so grateful, and shouting them out for that, and showing your appreciation, they're going to appreciate that. So even incorporating that into your life outside of Beachbody, you'll be a positive light, and people will appreciate that stuff too. So, just on a bigger scale, knowing that this business is going to change your life, and you're in it for the long haul. This isn't like I'm going to do it for a month, I'm going to do it for a year. These are priorities. The 4 vital behaviors have to be priorities in your life. And when you build your lifestyle around those 4 things, your business will grow. But it can't be the other way around. You can't build, what's the other way around? You can't build the business around your lifestyle. Like, it has to be a priority first. And you can't say, okay, well, when I'm making money, I'll make this a bigger priority, because then it'll be worth my time. No, you need to make it a priority, and then you will in turn bring in a great income and bless your family financially because of what you're doing. So, just committing to the growth journey, because that is the thing that will change your life more than anything. And I was the one that for months didn't do personal development because I was like, I'm good, I'm happy, I'm like riding on these like energized endorphins or whatever, and I was thinking I was fine, and then all of a sudden you hear no, and your coaches start complaining, and you are like, I don't know if I can really do this, I'm running out of people, and all of these doubts and all of these things start creeping in, and it's so normal, and it happens to everyone. But that is when you have to build your mind so strong that you can handle anything, and that you'll get through the hard times, because everyone knows this business is like this. It might look on the outside like it's like this for some people, but I can promise you, for anyone that has success in this business, they've experienced way more lows than highs, but we get through it. So focus on that. Overcoming fears. I love this quote. Make your vision so clear that your fears become irrelevant. And that goes right hand in hand with the growth journey. When you just get so mentally tough that the naysayers don't bother you anymore, that the haters don't bother you anymore, that your family members that are like, dude, what are you doing posting another selfie? It doesn't bother you anymore. You're like, girl, just wait. Just wait. And it happened. And then they're like, oh, I like that selfie. That was a good one. Because they see the bigger picture as you continue to show up, as you continue to be confident in what you're doing. So having that clear vision and knowing what you're doing, why you're doing it, impact that you're having on so many people's lives, the rest is just like background noise. You don't really hear it anymore because you're so focused on where you're going. I already talked about the lifestyle aspect, and in case you didn't, that honestly is like one of the biggest points that I'm gonna make today, so make sure it's clear. Beachbody is not a business. Beachbody is a lifestyle. So when you know that, and when people are talking to you, and they're like giving you their objections, and they're so doubtful about if they can do this and whatever, the people that I love to talk to most about coaching are the people who can't show up in the challenge group, they really stink at showing up for themselves, and they need the support more than anything else. Because I'm like, girl, you need coaching in your life. I promise, when you make it a lifestyle, and when you incorporate, it just ups the ante on everything, on accountability, on the positivity, on the support system. Everyone needs that. And so, focusing on that and really sharing that this is a part of your lifestyle. It's not just this side thing that you do for a couple bucks a month or whatever people think that you do it for. That is what's going to attract the lifers and the people that see your vision and are like, I want to live like this. I want to make my health a bigger priority. I want to make a difference in people's lives. I want to surround myself and lock arms with amazing people that have my back no matter what. And then long-term perspective. That's what I was just talking about. Be a lifer. Don't even give yourself the option of quitting. Because what is that even? Like, if you quit, you probably stop working out as much. You probably stop doing the things, like you probably don't do personal growth. I feel so sorry for my coaches that send me cancellation emails. Or they don't send them to me, but I get them. And I posted this actually in my team page yesterday. I'm like, it breaks my heart when I get these emails because that is just them giving up on themselves, and that is them giving up on this opportunity that you have to change lives. Like, who has this chance? Like, it's kind of like weird to talk about because it seems pretend like a unicorn job where you get to work out and be on social media and meet new people and be positive and make a difference and make people happy and we get paid. What? It's like crazy. But just be committed. Be here, and commit to the lifestyle. Okay, mindset and vision. Next, how to set yourself apart. So this is the thing that lots of new coaches kind of worry about. They're like, well, why would anyone want to order from me? Or why would anyone want to trust me when there's all these other coaches? But you hear it all the time. I'm going to talk about your story first. You hear it all the time. Every single person has a story. And when I signed up, I was one of those that was like, I don't have a story. I don't really have that cool of a transformation. I was just losing a little bit of baby weight physically. I didn't change all that much. I had never really, knock on wood, I had never really gone through like this tragic trial in my life that I was overcoming. And so I was like, I don't really have that cool of a story. So great. Like, and that, for a long time, I felt like that. So I just kept posting my workouts, and I kept posting like how good I felt, and kept showing up. And that, I rode that for a long time. But then, I kind of got into my groove, and I was like, you know what? What's normal to me, and what I don't think stands out, or is anything special, is what I started getting messages from other people, other moms, other women who were like, girl, I love that you show up. I love that I see your picture every single day. I love that you incorporate your kids. I love that this is a family thing. Those are the things that was inspiring these people. And I'm like, oh, that's not really that cool, but I guess it's helping. And so as I kind of heard some chatter about what was helping other people, that's what I started to kind of focus on sharing more about. What was working for me? How was I able to keep working out at 5:30 in the morning when I was nursing a newborn? Like, so we had this routine, and I didn't think it was that cool, but people would ask me all the time, I can't do it, I'm so tired, da-da-da. And I'm like, oh girl, we wake up, I nurse him, we put him in his swing, we put the music on, we have the monitor on, we go work out, and then I feed him right after. That was our jam. And I shared that with so many people, and they would message me back, oh my gosh, it's working, this is the first time I've ever been able to work out with a baby, and da-da-da. And I'm like, yes. And so just little things. You have a story, I promise. No matter if you think you do or not, you do. And different people are going to connect with different people for different reasons. So no matter where you're at on your journey, no matter how far you still have to go on your own journey, that is relatable and real and raw, and the struggle is real, and people need to know that. They need to know what you're going through because that is where they are. And when they see that you're overcoming these things, that you're in the trenches, that you're not just standing on a pedestal going, this is how you get fit, da-da-da-da-da, like whatever. You're in the trenches, you're failing, and you're learning, and you're growing, and they connect with that. And they reach out to you. And you build that trust through your story that you share. And when people are coming to you, when they feel the worst that they've ever felt, when they have no confidence, when they have nowhere to turn, and they're opening up to you, that is huge. And they need to trust you. And I don't care if you personally message them or not, when they get to know you through your voice and your posts, they feel like they know you. And one of the greatest compliments that I could ever get is when people reach out to me and say, I feel like you're my best friend. I feel like I can tell you anything and I don't even know you. It's so weird. And I'm like, yes, something is working. And so just understand that. don't be surfacey in your post. Don't just put it out there to put it out there. Let people in and be raw and be authentic. Don't trade authenticity for approval. I love that so much because that's how I felt for probably the first 6 months to a year of my business. I was like, I have to be perfect. I have to be an example. If I screw up, I can't let them know because then they won't trust me to help them. But I soon realized that is so not the case. I was searching for approval. I wanted people to know, or I wanted them to think that I had it all figured out, when I don't really think anyone has it all figured out. And so when you just own up to it, and you own up to your journey, they're gonna come knocking on your door for help, I promise. Okay, stay in phase 1. This one is huge, especially as you are growing your business and getting focused on some other things. Lots of times we start as challengers, or even when we first sign up to coach, you're really motivated, you're plugged into your challenge group, and then all of a sudden you get really busy, you gotta do your power of threes, and you gotta read, and you gotta invite, and you do all those things, and then life happens, and you stop working out, and you stop being committed to one program, and you start jumping around. That is when I feel like there's a direct reflection with my personal journey and with my business. Hands down. When I am 100% committed to my journey, my business reflects that. And when I'm just like ho-hum, like on my journey, I'm always in a program, but my nutrition is what gets ho-hum because I like to eat a lot. So when I'm relaxed with that, I feel like it's just harder to share, and it's harder to be an example in those things when you're not showing up for yourself. So be in phase 1 and stay in phase 1 always. Be in a challenge group always. Be plugged in always. Show up on your own journey always. That needs to be a non-negotiable for sure. And if it's not, then check yourself and get in one. Pick a program and get into it. And don't feel like just because you're a coach that all of a sudden you can't just share what's working for you. I feel like when I became a coach, I was like, shoot, now I have to know stuff. And when people ask me things about a meal plan, I have to actually know the answers. I'm not a nutritionist, and I'm not a fitness professional. And so all I do is share what works for me. Share what I've learned through experiences. Then if I don't have the answers, I'm not afraid to say, girl, I have no clue. But I'll look it up, or I'll give you some resources that you can find this, or whatever. So don't feel like just because you're a coach, you have to all of a sudden, like, know stuff. Because I wish that happened, but it doesn't. All right. This is also a great way to set yourself apart. And I talk about it with my team. Don't be a phaser. So if you don't know what a phaser is, maybe you're one of them, maybe you are. A phaser is one of the coaches that all of a sudden doesn't post, and then they need to hit Success Club, and so you post about the sale, and you post this, and you post a random workout you did, and then maybe you hit your goal, maybe you don't, and then you fall off the grid for a while, and then you all of a sudden your coach messages you and goes, hey girl, are you at Success Club? What do I need to help you? And then you're like, oh shoot, I need to post again. And then you post again, and people are like, dude, what? Like, what are you doing? And that is when you look salesy. That is when you look like you are in it to make a few sales and to make a few bucks, honestly. Because when it's not consistent and when it's not your journey, that is when from the outside people are going, he just wants to sell a couple Shakeologies again, like blah, because they don't want to see that and they get annoyed. So I said this at Summit, and maybe I shouldn't have said that in a big crowd, but I said, people are worried about being annoying. If you don't want to be annoying, just don't be annoying. So go to your feed and say, what are people looking at when they see my page? Because I can promise you, when you send out messages, they're not messaging you back right away. They're going, click on your name. What is this girl all about? And they're scrolling through your page. And they're seeing what you're up to. And they're seeing what kind of person you are and what you're sharing. So make sure that you're showing up. Not just once a month, not just twice a month, every single day. And don't feel like it has to be all beach body. Please don't post all beach body. Share your life and let them know who you are. But when this becomes your lifestyle, it's easy to incorporate your workouts and your nutrition and your personal growth and your coaching community and your sprinkling in how you're building your business. I always say in the mom crafts because that's how I've done it, and you're just sharing those things because that is your life. That is what you're sharing. We're sharing our lives, okay? So don't be a phaser. And then the last one is add more value than you receive. And this goes kind of hand in hand with the phaser one. Don't be in it with an agenda. Don't send your messages with an agenda. Just be out there to be positive, to make a difference, to be an example, to inspire people, to let people know what's possible for them, and when they don't want to buy anything, have something to offer them. Maybe that's when you then say, okay, they can't afford a challenge pack. Do you want to jump in my group with the free 30-day God trial? And then they're like, oh my gosh, that would be awesome. I didn't buy anything. She still likes me. She's not like mad. And you just are there for support. And when you're there consistently, that's when people come back rolling. They come back around. They end up being your customers. They end up being your coaches because they're loyal to you, because you're helping them without receiving anything and without worrying about receiving anything. Okay? All right. Moving on, maybe. Okay, building a relationship. So this one is a big one. And it's something that, oh my gosh, my business has evolved so much since I started. I have evolved so much since I started. So it's funny to think back to how I did things at the beginning to now how I do things. And it's because I didn't know what was possible with this. I had a very short term, sell a few challenge packs and cover my Shakeology. Like that was my big vision with this business. And so I was way concerned about selling challenge packs. And even though I had good intentions, like I knew that was the best value, and that was what was going to help them the most, and they were silly for not doing that, that was still like my tunnel vision. That was my focus. And so when I would send invites, it was all, hey, I'm doing a group, blah, 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 or whatever. And obviously when you are starting out, you're digging into your warm market. So people know you, they trust you, just like Janelle said. You're not having to do that relationship building necessarily. But I'm gonna dig into kind of a little bit more about how you grow beyond your warm market. Because sooner or later you're gonna run out of people you know really well. You feel comfortable inviting, okay? So, along those lines, be interested in people. Don't try and be interesting. So I think that is something that stresses people out because they're like, my life isn't that cool, I'm really boring, all I do is this, and then they stress about being able to post. Don't worry about that. Be more proactive. Be more interested in what people are doing, in what their life is all about, and how you can help them, and the relationships will build more fluidly when you're doing that. When it's not all about you and attracting the right people necessarily, it's about reaching out and helping people and really being interested in their lives. And this is one that was huge for me because I was very selfish. I was very comfortable with my little bubble. I'm an introvert. Speaking is really scary. I would go through, on a regular basis, I would go through and delete so many people from my Facebook. I would just do like these Facebook flushes of annoying people that I was sick of seeing in my feed. So I would delete everyone, and I had just done that right before I signed up to coach. So I was like, dang it. Now I have to add more people. And that was something that freaked me out because I'm not a people person, especially person to person, like in real life. So actually social media has saved me because it It allows me to not be so scared to talk to strangers. But, where was I going with this? Oh, just reaching out. So that was something I never did. I never went out of my way to reach people. I never went out of my way to be interested in what they were doing. If I saw stuff on the feed, I would be like, oh, cute, or whatever. But I was just kind of concerned with myself. And that's not very fulfilling, really, because one of the things that I love about this is how I've had to get out of my comfort zone, and I've had to be interested in people. And it's almost made me, and it's been such a blessing, because I'm like, people are freaking cool. There's so many cool people in the world that I would never get to know, or I would never build a relationship with had I not been doing this. And so, just be brave and reach out and be intentional. So, I said play offense, not defense. So this is something that lots of coaches will do, and that's when I'll get coaches that are like, people aren't interested, blah, 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 and I'm like, well, who are you finding? Who are you targeting? Who are you wanting to work with? And they're like, well, I'm doing my posts and no one's commenting and no one's messaging me. And I'm like, dude, no, you have to reach out and you have to play offense. You have to be on the offense always. Don't wait for people to come to you. Don't wait for people to start engaging on your posts. If you aren't getting traction on your posts on social media, then that means you aren't being proactive like you need to. You need to go to people's pages, like and comment, and be interested in what they're doing. And naturally, it will come back to yours and be interested in what you're doing. But you have to take the first step, and you have to reach out. So that comes down to knowing who you want to work with, knowing your target, knowing your niche market, knowing all of those things, but being super proactive about it. When is the right time to invite someone? This, I love this topic, because there's some things that I probably shouldn't say to the masses, because I don't want you to think that that's how you build your business, but I'm just going to be real about how I built my business. I hate inviting, okay? Said it. But it is super important, and I will say that I invite in blitzes. So when every new year, every time I have like a really good reason to get people on board and to just plant a ton of seeds, I do invite blitzes, like by the hundreds. And these are people that I have been building relationships with for months and months and months. I'm like a building relationship boss. I am really good at connecting. I'm really good at being intentional about building those relationships and just connecting, honestly. Beachbody never comes up. We never talk about anything that I do. We talk about whatever, life, their kids, vacation, whatever. And we build that relationship for a long time. And then I either have a reason to invite, like a New Year's group, or like my month really stinks and I'm freaking out and I need to do a massive invite list. So then I'll invite them. But you don't ever run out of people to invite when you are more focused on building relationships than inviting. Because you can't, like I said, you can't always do this business with an agenda, because people sense that and they're like, oh, like, have you ever gotten added by the rappy people and then 5 seconds later gotten a message that said, hey, would you want to do this? And you're like, oh my gosh, you don't even know me. Like, why would I want to do this with you? That, oh my gosh, that irks me more than anything. So don't ever do that. I'm telling you this right now. At least go to their page and comment and know what's going on in their life before you send a message. Don't even do that. Build a relationship for a little bit, okay? So when is the right time? When the time is right. So you're always, Janelle said we're problem solvers. So when she's chatting with people, she said, if I have a solution for their problem, that is the right time to mention, have you ever considered doing what I do? Have you ever seen me post on my challenge groups and been interested in what they are? Have you ever wondered? And just those little seeds, but you plant them at the right time, not on your terms, but on their terms. Okay? So if you're not talking to enough people, you're not going to have enough people to invite without being weird. And when you're weird, that's when you're cold inviting, you never talk to them, and they're like, no, that freaking beach body girl, just send me another message. Don't do that. Build relationships and just be focused on people. I love this. Be good to people for no reason. Not because you have to hit Success Club, not because you want to hit Diamond, not because whatever. Be good for no reason, and people will be attracted to that. They will sense that in your messages, they will sense that in your comments, they will sense that in your posts, and just be a good person and be focused on that, and let it happen when it happens. Next, so I want you guys to ask yourself, does your billboard match your behind the scenes? So what is your billboard? Your billboard is all your social media. So does your Instagram, does your Facebook wall, your like page wall, your Snapchat, whatever you guys do, does that match your behind the scenes? So when you're doing these invites, and they're, like I said, going to your page, are you saying, hey girl, I'm doing this group and I would love to find 5 more people. Is this something you'd be interested in? They go to your page and they see pizza and lagoon and all these things. They go back like 3 months and they never see anything and they're like, what? Like, what kind of group is she running? You know, like you need to have them match. When they get your message, they're gonna be interested, they're gonna check you out. Make sure that when they check you out, they get a feel for you, they can hear your voice in your post, they can see what you're about, and then they will be more likely to be like, oh, you're normal. Tell me more about it, okay? So make sure that they match. This goes along with building your team. This goes along with if you are wanting to grow and wanting to mentor coaches and help them be successful, are you a leader on your billboard? Are you doing shout outs? I don't care if you have one person on your team. Are you shouting out your challengers? Are you shouting out fellow coaches that are killing it? Are you shouting out different things? That builds credibility for you also. So people need to see that you're having a little bit of success with this and you kind of know what you're doing before they trust you enough to want to work with you and be their mentor in the business. So just do a check periodically to see if your billboard matches what's going on behind the scenes. And a lot, I will say a lot, needs to go on behind the scenes, especially as you are getting things going. Because people are gonna watch for a long time, and they're gonna see if you stick around, and they're gonna see if you keep showing up, and they're gonna see if you're staying consistent. And you need to do a lot of the relationship building and the I'm a normal human, I really care about you stuff behind the scenes so that they know when it's their time, they're gonna go to you. They're gonna reach out to you and you're gonna be their girl or boy, okay? All right, some non-negotiables. So, if you are here, you are likely wanting to build a business and you're wanting to have this bless your life. So I love this quote, first of all. It says goal, to make an income while making an impact. That is what we do. Our incomes are a direct reflection of the lives we change, whether that's challengers, whether that's coaches, okay? So if you are solely focused on making whatever money and that's all you can think about, that comes off icky when you start posting and you get weird, okay? So non-negotiables, make sure that that is a focus. You want to make an impact. And I'm sure you guys are from Utah and you guys are really good, so I'm sure that is your focus, right? Okay, so first of all, just some goals. No matter what, this needs to happen in your business. The 4 vitals, I already talked about that. Not the 4 vitals for your business, the 4 vitals for your life. Because when you do those things, your life will be better. So somehow, you're slacking on one of them, you're slacking on all of them, sit down today and say, okay, how can I build my life around these things? And then move forward from there. Always be in a challenge group, I already talked about that. That is so essential. And even if, okay, maybe you do the challenge tracker, always be accountable to something. Even if you don't have any challengers, be plugged into your upline challenge group. It is 100% important that you are showing up every single day in a challenge group. I fully believe that, because when you do that, your coaches will do that. And when your coaches do that, their coaches will do that. And when you just create a community around this support, that's what your challengers start to sense. And they're like, geez, I really love this community. And it's all based around that, okay? So show up in your challenge group. Expand and meet new people, build solid relationships. That has to happen. You can't go far in this business with your 10 friends, and that's it. I promise. The people that are coming to me now are still some warm market people that I've watched for 3 years, but a lot of them are cold market people that I would have never known existed had I not been expanding and building relationships and being proactive. And that's what's so cool about this, is it doesn't matter how you start, where you start, or how many people you know. There's millions of people in the world who want to be happier, who want to be healthier, and who want to be better off financially. So find them. Go out and find them, and don't be weird, okay? All right, Success Club 5 has to be non-negotiable. Has to. But Success Club 5 basically maintains your business. Really. Doesn't really skyrocket anything. It covers your shake so you're not in the hole. Okay? If you want to grow, you've got to at least be hitting Success Club 10. So if you're sitting here and you don't hit those every single month, figure out how you can, one, make that a non-negotiable, and when you do, all of a sudden you go, okay, I'm gonna make this happen because I have to, I told myself. And you guys need to be your best accountability partner. You guys, like when I set a goal or when I set a non-negotiable, it is like I hold myself to it and I make it happen no matter what. So knowing that, it makes me do the actions that I'm uncomfortable with. And it makes me do the business building activities when I really don't feel like it. Or it makes me continue to post and continue to share and continue to help people when I'm in the NICU with my son. Like, it makes you do the things that are inconvenient because you have non-negotiables that are sitting in front of you that you told yourself you're gonna make happen. So Success Club 5 if you wanna cover your shakes, Success Club 10 if you wanna get a little bit of growth each month, okay? Go Emerald every month. So this is a really simple one. Do more than this if you want to really grow. But just setting this non-negotiable, 2 coaches. Add 2 coaches every single month. Go Emerald every single month. That's what I mean by go Emerald. No, you can't really go Emerald every month. But, and then duplicate that with your coaches. Help them go Emerald. Help them help their coaches go Emerald. And when you do that, 2, that adds up really quick. And guess what? It helps you to not slack on presenting the business. Because that's the one thing that can be scary for some people. And if you missed I did the presentation at Summit was on becoming a top recruiter, and we talked about this, just about sharing, and I think, I uploaded that to YouTube, so if you missed it, you can check it out, because we go into all this stuff. But when you know that you're gonna add 2 coaches every month no matter what, you're gonna do the things that it takes to talk to people, to plant those seeds, to convert your challengers, to sprinkle in coaching in your posts, and do all those things that it takes, okay? Last one is stay plugged into the mothership. So Josh Coates, he's my leadership mentor, he talked about this in one of his calls, and it is so true. If you are part of a team, if you are part of, maybe your upline sponsor has this big organization, maybe you have this big organization, maybe you have 5 people, whatever. There is so much power in energy, in groups of people that are going the same direction, doing the same thing, have the same vision, all those things. So don't seclude yourself. And this happens a lot to coaches that reach Diamond. I'm going to talk about this for a second because this can make or break you, because you can't do everything on your own. You need support, you need encouragement, you need people who are going through the same stuff that you're going through. So don't reach a goal and then go all of a sudden, oh, I'm a leader, I'm gonna go play with my 2 coaches over here, and we're not gonna look at anything over here, and then all of a sudden, you don't show up in any of the team pages, you don't show up on the team calls, you don't show up on anything, and then, before long, you're gonna be sending a message to your upline going, I hate this is so depressing and hard, and I'm blah, blah, blah. No, it's because you're not plugged in. Stay plugged in, okay? If you don't have a big team, stay plugged into Beachbody Champions Facebook page. Stay plugged into, there's gotta be something. Go to Summit, I'm glad you guys are all here. Go to events. Go to as much as you can where there's a community of people who have your back. Because there's enough people in the world that think what we do is weird, and we just need that support from each other. So stay plugged in to the mothership. Oh? Uh-oh. I can't remember what the next one is.
Secret sauce.
What?
Secret sauce.
Oh yeah, the unsexy secret sauce. You guys are good. Am I special? Okay, I'll just talk about the unsexy secret sauce. Because this is something that you guys have probably heard a million times, but you're gonna hear it again, because you need to. Okay, consistency and patience. Okay, consistency. We talked about this. Show up every day. Do the little, simple things that are so easy to do, and even easier not to do. Do them every day. Post on social media. Do your workout. Drink your shake. Listen or read your PD. Talk to people. Do those things every single day. Okay? And when you do that, over time, you build an empire. And like I said earlier, I don't do anything complicated. I have built my business around running challenge groups and helping my coaches run challenge groups. That's about as complex as it gets. Yes, we've developed trainings. Yes, we've developed things that we didn't have at the beginning that just make life so much better for these new coaches. But that's not what has made or broken, make or break, whatever, my business. It's the essentials, and it's the consistency, okay? And then patience. Gary Vee talked about this, and I loved his talk at Summit, because that guy is real. I loved it, and honest. You guys can't expect to create these dreams and to create this life that is kind of unicorny, like working from home, building an empire, reaching financial goals, building wealth, changing lives, getting in the best shape of your life. That's unicorny. You better be patient, okay? It happens. It will happen when you are consistent and when you show up for the long haul. So have that long-term perspective and make sure that you are just fair to yourself. Be understanding that it's going to take time, that you're going to fail a lot, and that you're going to get a lot of rejection and objections and all of those things. But guess what? We learn and we grow the most in those times. So embrace them, because that is when you are growing more than any other time. Way more than when you're having successes. It's in those trenchy periods when you feel like, I can't do this anymore, I'm not cut out for this, I'm just gonna quit. Don't let yourself talk yourself into it. Don't even entertain those thoughts. Dig into PD, unplug from social media, whatever you need to do. Get your head back in the game, and then stay the course. Because I promise it will be worth it. I love these. It says, there's no shortcut. It takes time to build a better, stronger version of yourself. That is what we're doing. We're building a better, stronger version of ourselves so that we can make an impact on others. And how fortunate we are that that is our job. To grow and to learn and to get healthier and to make a difference, right? And then this one, excellence is never an accident. It is the result of high intention, sincere effort, intelligent direction, skillful execution, and the vision to see obstacles as opportunities. That basically sums up everything, right? It talks about intention. You have to be so intentional when you are building this business. Intentional with your time, intentional with your actions, intentional with your agenda, like what you're going out, why you're going out to do things. You have to be intentional about everything. Otherwise, your relationships will suffer, your home life will suffer, and all those things that coaches complain about while they're trying to build a business. It's because they're working hard, but they're not working smart. I have been through that. I can promise you that my husband and I went through some struggles because I was so focused on this and I wasn't building smart. I was just really working hard. So be intentional with the time you spend. Be intentional about when you wake up. Wake up earlier. Go to sleep a little bit later. Do it while you're nursing your baby. Do it whenever you can. Be intentional about when you're building and what you're doing. Do not scroll through the news feed and think you're working your business. That's not doing anything. A little tip. If you are scrolling your news feed, because it will happen, at least make sure that you're being present. So if you go through and you find yourself like going through pictures, you better at least be liking and commenting on those. Because sometimes I'll get off and I'll be like, dang it, I just spent 30 minutes and no one even knew I was looking at their stuff. And that matters to people. They post stuff out there because they want to know that people care enough to engage with it. So be that one person that cares enough to engage with it, okay? Honestly, guys, I think that's, did we get this? Oh yeah, my last one. You hear be here in a year? I heard that at the beginning, be here in a year. And that was awesome. That like got me committed to a little bit, but up the ante a little bit. Be here in 20, be here in 50. Make this your lifestyle and you will be successful, okay? Is it time? Do we want to open it up for like 5 seconds to any questions? I've never done that before, and that might be like dangerous. But if anyone has any questions, I would be more than happy. I am an open book, as you can tell. So, yeah. Okay, that was great. So she asked, how do you transition a conversation from like, what's the weather like in Kansas, to actually an intentional conversation about inviting you to your group or whatever? So my answer to that is I don't. I don't ever worry about transitioning, or that's kind of what I talk about when I say having an agenda. Like you're not saying, okay, I'm reaching out to this person because I really want them in my group. You are solely focused on building a crap ton of relationships. And I mean like a lot. Because when you're building a lot of relationships every single day, you're just chatting with them about life, whatever. And I'm not saying you need to chat back and forth with 50 people a day because that would take up your whole day. But even liking and commenting and engaging and then just being like, hey girl, you're so positive, I love your page. Just something. You're now on their radar, for one. They're gonna pay attention to your posts. And then when you are doing your invites, you don't have to worry about transitioning. You're just, that relationship is solid enough that you can reach out and say, hey girl, I don't know if you're interested or not, but I'm doing this group and want to see if you want to know more about it. And then it's not weird. Because you've already talked to them about normal life without an agenda. And they're not going to feel like you're using them, you know? So that's always what I say to my coaches when they ask that is, you're not talking to enough people if you feel like you need to transition into something for an invite. So that's good. Anything else? Yeah.
With everything that
Yeah.
you think.
So she's asking, how do I overcome the objection of like it costs too much, I can't afford this, or whatever. So I 100% believe that I am not in this to convince anyone, right? And so at the beginning, I was in the convincing business, and I was like, yeah, right, girl, blah, 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 and I would combat all these objections with what I thought. But what I soon learned was, one, they legit don't have enough money, or two, they just don't see the value in it, and if they did find a way to get it, they weren't ready yet to fully commit and to invest in themselves. And so what I do is I speak with confidence. I don't tiptoe around the cost. I don't tiptoe around what it takes to be in my group and whatever that it actually, they're buying something. I don't tiptoe around that. I'm very confident in what I'm giving them, and what they will get back is way bigger than what they will invest. And so the way that I talk to people helps, and then when they do give me that objection, I don't fight it, really. I'm just like, hey girl, I will be here when you're ready. And they will come back around. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So as long as you're showing up and as long as you're continuing to build that value, they'll come back. And along the lines of objections, when you are thinking about your post, and when you're thinking, I don't have anything to post today, whatever, think about the objections you're hearing. Because if one person felt that, probably 100 other people have that same objection. So address those in your posts. Address why you love Shakeology and how it's saving you from buying this fast food, whatever, that costs more than $4. Just address the things that people are complaining about. And then they'll slowly be like, oh my gosh, I get it. That is worth it. Okay, so just something to think about with your post. Are you talking enough about it so that they really see and understand what they're getting? The new coach, she's having a hard time finding people who are ready to invest and ready to actually sign up and do anything. So you just gotta expand. Like some people, I know, right? Roll your eyes, but I promise, you're gonna hit a wall no matter what. Some people hit it really early. And that's just the fact of the matter. And that doesn't mean that you're not going to be successful or that this isn't going to work for you. That means you got to dig into Instagram and you got to dig into other resources to find people who need you. So it might take a little bit more time, but I promise you'll be able to find them. Yeah.
So the year you went top 10, I just want to know kind of what sacrifices you made to get to be like in the top 10 coach.
Should I have my husband answer that? Okay, so she asked, the year I went top 10, what did that look like? What kind of sacrifices did I make in order to make it happen? Let me think about that. Okay, so the year I went top 10, he was in his third year of vet school. Third? He was not around that often, and my kids were 5 and 3. So the sacrifices that I made were just, honestly, okay, so when I think back to what I did or like how life was, I wasn't missing out on anything that I would have been doing had I not been working my business like a boss, but I cut the fluff. Like I was not watching my shows that I loved, I was not going out with friends, or I was not just doing extra stuff that to most people is like normal life. They don't want to cut it out. I wasn't doing that. I was just so intentional. I was probably working, I don't know, 6 to 8 hours a day. In between the cracks, I wake up at like 5 with my husband to get stuff done, and then I work when my kids are playing. I work when they're sleeping. I work at night. I work in the car. Whenever I could, I was reaching out and building relationships, and I was inviting people, and I was helping my coaches be successful. Because that's what top 10 is, recruiting and helping your coaches get started and be successful. So I was just super intentional. Had I not been going for top 10, I'd probably have been watching Real Housewives and a few other things that really, they're not gonna make my life better. So it came down to being like, okay, is this growing my business? And if the answer was no, then I wasn't doing it. And so that's all it was. It wasn't like life or death. I still slept a lot. I still, you know, played with my kids. It was just intentional, like to it. Uh-oh. This is my husband. He's here.
I'll video you.
No. I just wanted to say, I don't think when she was pushing for top 10, I don't think what she was doing is that much different than, I mean, she doesn't put in as many hours now as she was, but she builds differently now. Like she was saying, like top 10's all about the coaches you recruit, them hitting Success Club, and I mean, I don't understand all of it. But I mean, now, like, we're building, like, obviously I'm a coach, she's got multiple business centers, so we build differently. And I think just our goals are different, and so she's still doing the exact same things that she was when she was going for top 10. She's just building differently now. And so I think that's, I don't know, I just wanted to make that point, so.
I'll say too, top 10 is a very specific goal. And so, without discounting top 10, because it's freaking cool, like I have so much respect for all those coaches, it is very specific to recruiting and to helping new coaches get successful. That really is what it is all about. And so, as your business evolves and as you do those things are going to evolve a little bit. You're probably not going to bring on as many coaches. You're going to dig in more to your leaders. You're just going to be doing different things. But when I was building for top 10, I was not going for top 10 until like November. I will be honest with you about that. It was in the back of my head because we landed like number 8, I think in January, and I was like, whoa, that's kind of cool. But I didn't want that to affect life and to affect what I was doing with my business. But I was so new that I had been a coach for 6 months when we landed number 8 in January, because everyone starts fresh. And so when we landed there, I was like, okay, well, I need to be growing anyways. I need to be recruiting like a boss, and I need to be helping my new coaches hit Success Club and be successful. So that just worked with what I needed to be doing in that phase of my business. So it's still the basics. It's still recruiting and helping people get started and helping them be successful. So, but it wasn't anything crazy. Some coaches go crazy, I will tell you that. I'm not a great recruiter though. Like, you'll hear Amy Silverman, she recruits like millions of coaches and works with the willing and things like that, and she runs with the runners. I recruit quality over quantity, not discounting anything that anyone does. When they can bring on 1 million coaches, more power to them, because that's amazing. But I just really bring on what I feel comfortable that I can work with and really help take them under my wing and mentor them. So just different, that's, I don't know, just different ways. Yeah. She hears a lot about don't put challengers in a challenge group unless they get a challenge pack. So what do you do with the coaches that don't, or the customers that just get a program? She feels like she needs to help them anyways. So this is what I'm talking about when I say my business and I have evolved. At the beginning, I was like, challenge pack or die. I'm not working with you unless you get a challenge pack because that's what you need. If you don't see the value, then blah. You know, that's how I was. But now, yes, the challenge packs are amazing, but the challenge group is the secret sauce. So, yes, I still require them to purchase something. Yes, I still lead with the challenge pack and 100% am behind those and know that that's the best value and they need it. But when someone, or even like a abandoned coach that has no support, if they're like, hey, I ordered from Beachbody, I have no support, I'd love to get in your group. I'm not like, okay, well, let's get you to buy something and then you can be in my group. I'm like, sweet, let's get you to do the coach, whatever, because they don't have a coach. I'm not saying coaches, do not ever do that. They have no coach support. So they're switching to me, I plug them right into my group and I support them 100%. And when you do that, they see the vision, they love the support, they probably end up ordering a challenge pack for their next one, and maybe start to coach. So I have definitely changed my ways as far as that goes. Support people, no matter what they get, help them, and the rest happens. Talking about Instagram, how do you expand and make new friends and build relationships on Instagram? That's a great question. So first of all, I'm very intentional about finding people. So know who you want to work with and know who you want to get to know. And find them, and you just start engaging on their stuff. You just start commenting, you start liking them, maybe you send them a personal message and say, I don't know how I found you, but I'm so glad I did, I love your page. Something as simple as that. And then they'll go back to your page, and the rest is history. So it's really simple, you just have to be proactive, like I was talking about. You asked, what do you do with challengers who fall off the face of the earth and don't show up at the group and don't do anything once they sign up? So unfortunately that happens, but what I do on the front end is I set expectations for my groups. I let them know what to expect, how the group runs, so just make sure that you're at least doing that so they understand. And then realize that some people are natural wallflowers and they're never going to engage in the group. Some people don't know how to find the group because they lost it, and they don't know how to work Facebook. And so the first thing I do is I tag them in the group to bring them back. And if they don't respond or whatever, then I'll personally message them. And if they ignore me, then I'll say, hey, that's your one. And then I'll message them again, like probably before their Shakeology ships or something, and check it again. If they don't respond again, then I'm like, all right, I've done what I can, you know? You can only do so much for people. So those are the things that I do. I tag them first and try and bring them back. And then otherwise I'll just personally message and try and work with them. Because maybe they're not a group person, and that's okay too. I actually have a coach now that is Ruby, a new Ruby. And she was in month after month after month of my challenge groups, never posting, ever. And so I check in with her and be like, hey, how are you doing? Oh, I'm doing so good. I feel amazing. I've lost 30 pounds. I love the group. And I'm like, you don't ever post. And she's like, I know, I'm just afraid to post selfies, but I love the encouragement and da-da-da. So I shouted her out in the group. I posted a picture of her, told them how proud I was that she lost 30 pounds and she was killing it. And guess what she started doing? Posting in the group, because she was like, man, that feels good. She got encouragement, she started posting, then she became a coach because she's like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. And now she's like, no turning back. So you just never know. So just personal basis, it's always different. Okay, she asked, did I always have a belief in myself from the beginning that I could go all the way or make this whatever? I will say no, because I remember when I first signed up, one, watching Mindy Wender's $20,000 video on YouTube and being like, yeah, right, that is crazy, pretend, monopoly money. That is not real. And then two, I went to Brandy Bott's page and saw how she was posting, how she was sharing, and all the interaction. She had all these friends, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I could never do that. Like, so I did have those doubts, but that didn't make me doubt me or what was possible. I just had no idea what was possible. I had no idea. And so I just kept doing the simple little things, and lo and behold, stuff happens. So, no, I didn't believe, but I also didn't doubt. And as soon as I did dig into personal development, it's never been about becoming a 15 star or becoming a this or becoming a that. It's just been about creating this life that I wanted, and this was my vessel to make it happen, and it just took the little consistent action. So, I guess, I don't know, yes and no. Okay, thank you guys.